has some pretty good form. We also appointed Tony Tubbs, David Bostis, Fernley Fellis, lost his pro debut. But interestingly, the recent form of Martinez is better
in the
than that of
heavyweight
Asipeli.
division, fighting out of the red corner from Las Vegas, Nevada. He weighed in at 229 pounds, is wearing red trunks, and has a record of 17-10-2, 8 victories by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sione Asipeli.
Yep, originally from Tonga.
And fighting out of the blue corner from Sacramento, California. Weighs in at 228 pounds, wearing black trunks, and has a record of 17-6-1, 7 victories by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gilbert Martinez.
So there you are then, and believe it or not, Martinez, this is, you'll love this. He is about 87 pounds heavier now than when he made his debut back in 1985 at 151. It was a light middleweight, and here he is boxing as a heavyweight, and actually done pretty well. He's only 5 feet 11 inches tall. In fact, they both are. And Asipeli's recent form has been disappointing. Lost his last 7. He's 29 years of age, and he's been stopped in 2 of those. Boxed in England on 1 occasion. Boxed Tim Redman, and won in 2 rounds against Tim. But Martinez, as I say, his form against the same opponents has been much better than Asipeli's. So the southpaw then from Sacramento in the black shorts, Gilbert Martinez. And as I say, this on the form book, this looks like a win here for Martinez. And he's still got skinny old legs, but all of his weight that he's put on, the 80-odd pounds, is actually on the upper body. Left hand got through there a moment ago from Martinez, who can be incredibly awkward to fight. Asipeli's going to have his work cut out here. 6-3s, this one is scheduled for. And no need to say, this is, of course, a heavyweight contest. Asipeli, by the way, he started his professional career about 22 pounds lighter than he is here at 203. And he's boxing here, in fact, 229. So quite a bit difference, 26 pounds in it, almost 2 stone. Of course, that's fairly common with fighters. They get older, harder to shift the weight. And of course, with the extra income, they tend to eat and drink it. Or at least some of them do. I think Martinez is a very good example of that. A bit of a swelling on the right eye there now of Gilbert Martinez. Well, Martinez getting through with the better quality punches here in this first round. Got a great fighter's face, isn't he, Martinez? Switch to orthodox here from Martinez.
No hold, come on, punch out of there, go there.
Well, so far this first round is bearing out the form. Well, interesting attitude there from Asipeli. He took a shot and just jiggled his way back in again, almost to say, well, that didn't bother me. But Martinez is not a huge puncher. He's only stopped 7 opponents in 17 wins and 1 draw and 60 defeats. And Asipeli, he's won 17 as well, but he's lost 10, drawn 2, and only stopped 8. So once again, a non-puncher. Martinez still getting through on target. Incidentally, my heavyweight tip for the top, Dominic Gwynn, was beaten very recently for the very first time, but I don't think that will preclude him from getting in the mix in the higher echelons of the heavyweight division. I still think he's got the talent. So first round then to Martinez. And you may have remembered that the other day I was asked a question via email about has there ever been a world champion who's never scored a knockout? And I had a response from a regular emailer, Neil Haggarth. And Neil reminds me that, in fact, Barry Jones, the former WBO super featherweight champion, had 20 professional fights. He won 18, lost one and drew one, and never ever scored a knockout victory or anything other than a points win. And which is not, of course, to malign Barry Jones, who, by the way, is a lovely guy. If anyone knows Barry, I'm sure he'll agree with me. Great character, but a non-puncher.
Looking good.
Here we go, then round 2 of the scheduled 6 in the heavyweight division. And Martinez made a slightly better start, winning the first round. And Sione Asipeli, well, the problem is he's reactive, he's not proactive here. He's doing what Martinez allows him to, rather than forcing his own fight. And which is probably why he's lost his last 7. And just as I say that, he actually tries to turn the tables here and do what I just suggested. But there's no point fighting Martinez on the inside like this. He'll hustle and bustle you, he'll tie you up, frustrate the life out of you. You might as well just try and pick up the points at long range. But he's not bad actually at long range either. Despite his conditioning, he's not a, he's a fairly smart boxer at times. He might look awkward. So Asipeli certainly having a better start to round 2. Asipeli, by the way, turned pro in 1997. As I say, Martinez is pro since 1985. And Martinez now 37 years of age, 8 years older than Asipeli. We've seen quite a bit of him here on Eurosport so far. And see, this is the big mistake that Asipeli's making. He shouldn't be standing his ground there. He should be off. He should be off around the side, using the angles, and just creating a bit of distance. But of course, he just doesn't have the craft.
Come on, punch out, have the free.
Referee for this one is Vic Drakulic. And some reasonable moments in this second round for Asipeli, but he did take a couple of crunches there. Well, this round looks to be heading for a 10-10, doesn't it? It looks to be pretty level at the moment. So there you are then, that looks like a pretty level round for me. Martinez didn't take everything without reply, but 2019 then, Martinez 1 point in front.
Easy fight. Give me that bucket. Chad.
So, round 3 on its way. Bit of replay here from the second round, and Asipeli made a good start, but Martinez came back at him. Here we go then, round 3 of this heavyweight contest, and we're looking at Gilbert Martinez from Sacramento, California, who's a point in front, in my opinion, against this man, Sione Asipeli, who comes from Tonga, but now based in Las Vegas. So this Reno, Nevada crowd thoroughly enjoying this one, almost home ground, of course, for Asipeli, but Reno is in the north of the state. whereas Las Vegas is around about the middle.
Strike! Watch on. Watch heads, guys. Let's go.
Well, interestingly there, Martinez landed a couple of punches, then stood back and looked, almost as if to admire his own work, and gave Asipeli another chance to get back in at him. A bit of verbal there from Martinez on the inside, bit of an elbow also from Asipeli.
Watch that shoulder.
Well, once again, the left cross coming in from Martinez, a shake of the head there from the Tongan. And he's strangely effective, Martinez, isn't he? In his own kind of way.
Come on, here, let's go. Hands are free, come on.
Oh, lovely uppercut there from Martinez.
Punch out of it, come on, Taylor.
Bit of a swelling now around Asipeli's right eye. Don't forget, this man in 1999 was considered good enough by the WBO to fight for their cruiserweight title against Johnny Nelson, who put him in his place. But that says probably more about the WBO than it does about Asipeli.
Hands are free, let's go.
So another good round there for Martinez, and he's banged poor old Asipeli up a bit in that round. 30-28, didn't get went levels on the second. Not that it matters. And let me just remind you that some of these Las Vegas judges have got terrible reputations for misreading fights, or at least misscoring them. Oh, there you are, Asipeli. A real character, isn't he? Just trying to think, I think David Tua is also from Tonga originally, isn't he? Another heavyweight. And there's that swelling underneath the right eye. Difficult, nice work so far, this day for Asipeli. Here we go, this is round 4, the halfway point. Gilbert Martinez, well, lands a left hand to start the round. Asipeli still showing lots of character here. The crowd thoroughly warming to that as well. Well, he might not win many fights, but he does win a few fans. And that's sometimes just as important. Well, it's not just as important, but it's important. Winning, of course, is the be-all and end-all for most people. Personally, I used to think the taking part was just as much fun. There you go.
Come on, punch out there, guys.
Good job we're not all the same.
Break! Go, watch your head, watch your head.
Yes, Martinez, strangely effective. And he really is capable of giving nightmares to even some of the better heavyweights, you know, because he has this awkward, slippery style. He's a fairly tough individual as well. In fact, Martinez has been stopped on 4 occasions so far in 60 feet. Jeremy Williams stopped him in 9 rounds. Michael Grant, the big fella, stopped him in 8, and Anthony Thompson, who's also a very big fella, stopped him in 6. But apart from that, he's not done too badly, Martinez. If you can catch him, you can probably hurt him, but that is your problem, is catching this awkward customer. Asipeli certainly won't hit him hard enough, I wouldn't have thought, to bother him. Asipeli, by the way, has been stopped on 2 occasions in 10 defeats. A couple of rights there then from Asipeli. And there's quite a physical contest, this one. They've both got marks on their face. Bloody nose for Martinez as well.
Punch out, come on. Let go on there, Sione. Let go. Go home. Come on, punch out.
And Asipeli, they're completely ignoring the referee. And he's getting pretty tired now, isn't he, Asipeli? First fight of the year, by the way, here for Sione Asipeli. And also first fight of the year for Martinez. Well, there you are, and that's another good round, I think, for Martinez, despite some cuffing punches. 40-37 then.
Push him over the side like that. Beautiful. See, don't make it too
Well, I don't really know if you can describe anything that Martinez does as beautiful as the cornerman did there, but as you see, he does get through with some pretty correct punches at times. The delivery might not be brilliant, but they land okay, don't they? Told her not to do that when I'm working. So we've got 2 to go, and looks like a 3-point gap has opened up now in favour of Martinez, and it's kind of going the same way as the form book suggested it would. But let's not forget, this is heavyweight boxing, where almost anything can happen, and sometimes does. So Gilbert Martinez in the black shorts from Sacramento, California, in action here against the Las Vegas-based Tongan Sione Asipeli. And Asipeli, I've got 3 points behind coming into the 5th round. And once again, Martinez, his own style of connecting but strangely delivered punches. As I say, they are delivered in an odd kind of way, but they still land with some impact. None of these are 2 stunning punches, no doubt about that. But not a bad fight for the crowd. Bit of blood, bit of swelling, bit of bruising on both men's faces. One, of course, one area of professional boxing that is easily neglected is the simple damage that fighters do to their hands. You get 2 hard heads like these, and if your hands don't match the hardness of their heads, you are going to have a problem. And these 10-ounce gloves look nothing on these big lads, do they? Let me remind you that Martinez started his professional career as a light middleweight, and here he is boxing, and successfully, as a heavy. And he actually grew into a heavyweight between 2002 and 2003. He went from 197 to 220 almost overnight. And he hasn't looked back. His form's been pretty decent, actually. No, wrong one, my apologies. He went from 151 to 181. He had a 7-year break in 1988, came back in 1995, Martinez, and he was quite a bit heavier. In fact, he was about 35 pounds heavier when he came back, and became a fully fledged heavyweight in 2002. He looks like a bit of a cartoon character at times, Martinez, doesn't he? He looks like something you'd see out of a computer game, you know. An American GI, for instance. In fact, I'm sure he's been a model for one of those games at some point. Well, Asipeli's still trying to connect with something telling and meaningful. But as you can see, Martinez is still very much the man on the ascendancy here. Last few seconds in of round 5. One more after this. And it looks like, despite some scuffling and cuffing from Asipeli, another round here for Martinez. 50-46 then. 4 points in it, 1 to go.
Hey, Gilbert, he's not ready to quit. Make him quit, though.
And Martinez's form as a heavyweight, by the way, 6 wins and 3 defeats. So I think that's switched it in the world of good. Not the only fighter, of course, to come through the weights like this, but he's done it well. Here we go then, 6th and final round, and looks like a decent night's work this for Gilbert Martinez. And the customary touch of gloves then before the hostilities commence in the last 3 minutes. As you can see, there's absolutely no body behind these punches at all from Martinez, but they do land, and as I say, they are on target with sufficient force to score points. Asipeli in the red shorts has got a mountain to climb here, I think, almost literally. Martinez looking for his 3rd straight win here, and of course Asipeli looking for his 1st win in 8 fights. He's very much on the slide. As once again Martinez catches him with some decent looking punches. Bit of blood there to be wiped, I think, off the face here of Asipeli. Just want to check that. A bit of tape on the glove as well coming loose. I've said this before and I'll say it again. See the signature there on the cuff of the glove, on the tape around the glove? That's checked by the inspector. He makes sure everything's in order. There's no horseshoes in the gloves. And he signs his name, so they can't be interfered with. So action resumes then in this 6th and final round. Not much left on the clock, I don't think. In fact, they're halfway through. And Asipeli started with some promise, didn't he, in his professional career? But he started losing from 2000 onwards on a reasonably regular basis. And as I say, he's now lost 10. And this will be his, I think, his 8th defeat in a row. Yep, won his first 17 fights. No, he didn't. He won 16. No, he won 14 and drew 2 and lost 1 of his first 17. Asipeli, but it was at a lower level. Well, Martinez once again getting through there, the cluster of punches. And once again, I've got to say, remark about what a physical fight this has been. They've both got lumps and bumps and blood. Bit of shoulder, bit of elbow occasionally, but mainly due down to leather landing. See, very intelligent shift of foot there from Martinez. gives himself a bit of room to land and doesn't get caught on the counter. And again, using the angles, something that Asipeli has failed to do. So an excellent win there, surely, for Martinez. Yep, Asipeli can't think he's won that, surely. I didn't give a round. In fact, 60-55 in favour of Martinez for me. Yep, 60-55, that'll do. Bit of jaw damage there, quite possibly, for Martinez. By the way, I went to the Finchley Amateur Boxing Club pre-Las Vegas trip recently, and Frank Bruno was there, and let me tell you, he was in good form. We also had a luncheon hosted by the Kimberley and Chaz Taylor and the Lonsdale Sporting Club, and that went very well too, apparently. So well done, all concerned. Asipeli there, living in dreamland if he thinks he's got this. But it was a hard physical fight, and maybe he's just pleased to have got through it. It always looked to be a distance fight, and I believe that the form of these two men has been borne out with Martinez going to pick up the win. That's it, have your picture taken with the gloves up in front of your face, Sione. And Asipeli, by the way, not in it for glory anymore, he's just there for the money, same as Martinez. Not that there's fortunes to be had over the 6-round limit in American boxing. $1,500 maybe, $2,000 possibly. But everyone loves to see the heavyweights. And you can see the markings here on the body of Asipeli.
Right,
here we go then. 60-55 for me.
Bout. They certainly were not dancing. The judges: Keith McDonald judges about 60-56. Judge John McSweeney judges about 60-55. And Judge Doug Tucker judges about 60-54.
Oh, well.
The winner, by unanimous decision, Gilbert Martinez.
So Martinez does get it by 4, 5 and 6 rounds respectively on those scorecards. And one judge got it right at 60-55, but no one gave a round against Martinez. Anyway, stay with us. We've got the tallest heavyweight in the world next here on Eurosport.